Hi guys, I hope you're all keeping well and safe. Welcome to Early Years Matters TV. On this channel, we focus on everything early childhood related. If these are the kind of videos you're looking for, what you have to do is subscribe. And not just subscribe, turn on that notification bell so that whenever a new video is being dropped on this channel, you'll be the first person to be notified. Today is going to be all about spiritual development in early childhood. Yes, today's discussion is going to be all about spiritual development in early childhood. For the past few weeks, I've been looking at holistic development in early childhood. I've looked at the physical, intellectual or cognitive, the language, emotional, and the social development of the young child. Today is going to be all about the spiritual development in early childhood. Let's start by looking at what is spiritual development in early childhood. Spiritual development in early childhood is beyond religion, okay? So I want you to think of spiritual development beyond religion, because I know sometimes or most of the time when people hear the word spiritual, they think of religion straight away. No, it's beyond religion. So spiritual development in early childhood is all about the young child's ability to understand themselves, who they are. And you agree with me that everything starts from early childhood. So spiritual development is all about the young child's ability to understand themselves. And it goes beyond the young child understanding themselves. It's also the ability of the young child to develop empathy. What does empathy mean? It simply means the young child's ability to put themselves in people's shoes. I'll explain it. You might be wondering, in what sense does the young child have to put themselves in people's shoes? So, for instance, a child arriving into the preschool setting upset, the other child could go over to the child and ask a simple question such as, "Are you okay? Hope everything is all right with you." That child has developed empathy simply by asking the other child, why are they crying if everything is okay with them? So this is also what spiritual development is all about. It's all about the young child's ability to develop empathy. It also moves beyond the young child developing empathy. It's also all about how the young child's behavior affect themselves, not only themselves, and how the young child's behavior affect others. So can you now see that spiritual development encaps a whole lot of things? So I'll quickly recap what is spiritual development all about. Spiritual development is all about the young child's ability to identify themselves, to know who they are. And it goes beyond identifying who they are, finding out about themselves. It's also all about them developing empathy in the sense that putting themselves in people's shoes. And it goes beyond that. It's also all about how their actions, their behaviors affect themselves, and not just only themselves, affect others as well. You agree with me that children's behavior not only affect them, it affects people around them, it affects their peers, it affects the educators, it affects the parent. For instance, if a child is throwing tantrum in the classroom, if the child is going to affect everyone because it's a distraction. If the child is crying, throwing toys, others will be affected. So now let's talk about in what way can you promote spiritual development. Now let's childhood. This is for you, the parent, and the educator. So you could start by talking about feelings with the children. You could talk about feelings, how they can identify their feelings, whether they're feeling bad or how they're feeling good, how to express this in a positive way. For instance, if they are sad, encourage the children to express why they are sad. It's not just saying, well, you can't be sad. We have to be happy all the time. You need to understand that there are some days we have our moments that we're sad. So for the young child, you give them the opportunity to talk about their feelings. And when they talk about their feelings, acknowledge their feelings. This is part of child development. So you could go on further by reading stories, reading books about feelings, about empathy, about developing empathy for others. You need to understand that in early childhood, play is a child's work. So if you're reading a story about empathy, identifying themselves, who they are, bring life into it. Do this in a fun way, not just read the book straight away like that. No, you need to bring, life into it, action into it. If you're reading a story where someone is sad, your facial expression to show that the person is sad. Okay, when you're reading a story about somebody that is happy, let your facial expression display this as well. So you could read a story about developing empathy. You could read a story about how their behavior affect others, affect themselves. So when you're doing this, you're promoting spiritual development in early childhood. So encourage your children to also ask questions about feelings, about having empathy for others. This is important. I know you might be saying, oh, young children, they ask a lot of questions, and there are no questions that is too much to ask. So encourage your children to ask open-ended questions in relation to having empathy for others, about their behavior, about their identity, their inner being, who they are. So when you do this, you're definitely promoting spiritual development. And you, the educator and parent as well, model this behavior as well, okay? Model spiritual development. When you're expressing your feelings as well, do this in a positive way. Even though you're sad, for instance, if you've done something wrong, like they did not tidy up their toy, you could say this in a nice way that, can you all tidy your toys, please? I'm not happy because you've not tidy your toy. Okay, go over and tidy your toy. So you can see that you're telling them, you're expressing your feelings, but you're doing this in a positive way. You're not shouting, you're not giving out, because when you do this, you're sending a signal to them. And you need to understand that in early childhood, children learn from us. They learn from their peers, they learn from us, the parent, the educator. So whatever we do, they tend to do the same as well. So I hope you've taken note of the points that I've listed in relation to spiritual development in early childhood. And to want more of this video on this channel, what you have to do is subscribe, and not just subscribe. Turn on that notification bell, which whenever a new video is being dropped on this channel, you, yes, you, be the first person to be notified. And until I come your way next time, stay safe and mind yourselves for now. Bye.